Hello, how's it going? Welcome, cheers. Michigan Lifestyle, hello. Susie Bedhead, yes. Edwin C. Dirty Sausage is here. Everybody out. We're done. Michael DePaul. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to do a red coat rant, folks, and nothing has changed as far as me being able to do shows. They are still blocking the shit out of me. I had to go and change a bunch of settings. There's Stella. I had to go into my computer, my laptop, and change a bunch of settings so I could actually do searches. It's just unreal. Anyway, now I got cats playing with cords. Hey, come on, stop that. Anyway, Carly Simon, hello. Camel Carl's here. Point fire. Okay, so I don't have a second screen. When we moved here, Mike MQ, hi. When we moved here, we literally just brought the minimum. And so most stuff's still in storage. So there's a lot of things that we don't have. But, and the sound, I'm trying to play videos. Now I'll play one, but I'll bet you can't hear it. So anyway, I got a few things, but we're going to talk about some stuff here. And Scarborough. Phil Brown. Is Phil Brown here? Yeah. Hey, Phil. How you doing? I didn't see your name come up on my thing. Sunflower Pepper, hello. Daniel St. Clair is here. Okay, hang on. Let me go back. Oh, Red Pill Phil Brown. What's up, brother? Okay. Oh, yeah. So now I'm on my laptop. Okay, just a sec. Kill the sound. Okay, now I can actually go in and what the hell is going on? Okay, there we go. My chat on YouTube is being messed with as well. So I'm gonna mod. There, Phil, you're blue again. I don't know why you're not. Unless that's a different channel, maybe. If you had to change your channel again. Yeah, like again, when from basically the beginning of August until just like a couple weeks ago, with everything happening with the move and everything that was going on, I hardly was even on the internet at all. At all. So let me just fix a couple things here, turn some people blue. Okay. All right. So as you know, there's just a shit ton of things going on, right? It's crazy out there, absolutely insane. And it's going to get worse, I think. I honestly do. I've seen some signs. Now, little tidbit. I have not been going because I haven't been on the internet or doing things. And now with night shift and my schedule, it's just crazy. But instead of an afternoon nap, this is my afternoon awake. That's how I split my day up. So this is my afternoon awake, my not nap. So I haven't been going to the places I used to go to get information, and there's they're not chat rooms, but they are. There's places that those who keep in touch would go to talk, and I haven't been doing that. But I'm seeing a bunch of stuff that's out there, and we got to talk about it. So I need to go back. I'm on YouTube. I'm going back to StreamYard. There we go. Okay. I'm going to do a screen share. And again, I don't have my second screen. So Just a second. Share screen. Okay, that one. It's the only one I have. Share. Okay, here we go. What the hell is this? What in the hell? Let's try this. No. No, I don't like that. That doesn't do a damn thing. That doesn't show you nothing. Oh my God. What have they changed in here? What have they changed? Oh, this is stupid. I don't know what I'm doing, folks. Oh, this is just dumb. It's probably because I don't have a second screen. Let me try this. No, that won't work because then I won't be able to talk to you. Oh, this is just frustrating. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to redo this. Hey, Green Thumb. I'm going to have to redo this. Son of a bitch. Okay. I don't want to use OBS. It's too much of a pain in the ass. I'll figure it out for the next stream, folks. I'll have to play around and figure out what's going on. So what I'll do is I'll put links in the chat. Let's do it that way. Okay. All right. So I will put a link in the chat here. This is a channel I just found. And I'm following some other stuff that I just found. Okay, so he was following, ironically, someone on X, Stella X, and she was showing. She's in California, and she was showing. It must have been either early last night or the night before, but on one of the major freeways in Los Angeles, there was hundreds and hundreds of police cars. They were taking up the whole freeway, and they were taking up every lane, filling the freeway, and they had their lights and sirens on. They were driving really slow. And everybody's like, oh, I don't know what they're doing. And that's what she was saying. Oh, I don't know what they're doing. I mean, there's nothing to respond to over there. It's not where the fires are, blah, blah, blah. I'll tell you what's happening. The police officers are protesting. This is how it starts. In 1978, okay, the band Prism, and they had a song Armageddon. And the words go, there was a full moon over Memphis, National Guard outside. Thousands await for Elvis, waiting ever since he died. Okay. Now, what happened was Prism was in Memphis doing a show, and they were in a hotel, and the police officers and the firefighters in Memphis were on strike. And this was in August. It was a year after Elvis had died. And so they had been by Graceland during the day, and again, there was thousands and thousands and thousands of people outside of Graceland on the anniversary of his death. And apparently, after he died, people camped out there. It was so that was going on, and then the police and the firefighters had gone on strike, and everything was crazy. And the National Guard came in to do the policing and the firefighting, and they brought in the state police and all kinds of shit. Anyways, it was a wild place to be, and then they wrote the song in the hotel room watching all this going on. Armageddon signals the beginning of the war to end all wars. Well, we're kind of seeing that now because that's what they want. And again, I'm going to have to catch up to these chats and see what these guys are talking, see what the information is out there. Get back into it. Like I said, it's not a chat room that you go to that's a chat room, but it is. Like, that's all I can really say. So I think what's going on is with all the bullshit in California. I mean, they free shoplifting and all, shit on the streets and all that crazy stupid shit they're doing. And Trump is coming in. Zuckerberg has turned. A few others have turned. Elon owns Twitter. Now changed it to X. We've had these attacks in in New Orleans on the morning of the 1st, and then of course a couple hours later in Vegas, and that whole thing in Vegas is just turning into a wild ride. I can only imagine what the guys are actually saying in the chats, and what they've been able to find out. I went and watched this Sean Ryan interview with Sam Shoemate and picked up a lot more on it. And I think at the time, Sean was doing everything he could with what he had, and it's just turned into a nightmare ever since. And Shoemate has come back and sort of debunked, but not really debunked. Oh, okay. Things are just going crazy. I think what you're going to see. Now, I don't think it's going to happen in Kazakhstan, but I think you're going to see it in the United States. Because we still have Trudeau until he actually leaves. And again, he's doing everything he can to stay in power, even though he said he's going to leave. That's all bullshit. Okay, he doesn't care. Did he break the law by proroguing Parliament? Did he, go against the Charter, the non-constitution? He doesn't care. He's actually one of the elites. He honestly doesn't care. Because again, he's still got the RCMP in his pocket. He's got the military in his pocket. He's got the mainstream media in his pocket. It is hilarious to surf the left, and I haven't used the account for a long time, but I do have an account that is purely left, so that you can see what they're doing. Every once in a while, a feed will come up on my regular stuff here on YouTube, and because even though I did my best to make sure they weren't connected, they are. Anyway, and again, I haven't gone to that for a long time, but I was, it's how you find out what they're actually saying and where they go. And watch Hard Bastard. He covers what he covers, but he still catches a lot. So the thing is that somebody's got a birthday. Hello. Rip Curl. How you doing? 21 and legal all over the world. You can now go to Vegas and drink your face off. Well, then gamble. Yeah. Hello. Okay. So anyway, some of these feeds come up, and it is hilarious. Now that their power is being taken away from them, what's going to start happening on Facebook, because Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg, if he follows what he said, things are going to change on Facebook. Okay. We know things have changed on X. I think things are going to change on YouTube, because I think Section 230 is gone. I think that's one of the first things Trump is going to do, is he's going to take their freedoms away and crack the whip. If he doesn't, then we've got a problem. Then we've got to start asking questions. Okay? But I've been finding these shows that push their propaganda and they push their narrative. The production value is off the charts. They have professional studios. You can tell they have actual professional people doing all their editing and filming and all that. Okay, crazy. And they get 20 views, 50 views. Nobody's watching them. Nobody wants to hear from them. They can't get an audience. They're doing everything they can to promote. And a lot of these channels are buying their subs. So they, look, oh, they've got 12,000 subs, or they got 50,000 or 200,000. They bought them. They bought those subs. They don't actually have, when you go to their show, it's like CNN on YouTube. They have millions of subscribers and they get like 1,000 views. Right? Do the math, figure it out. I think we are going to start seeing, especially in some of the left cities and the woke cities and the, all these crazy places around the United States. I think the police are going to start saying, fuck it. Because again, what they've done, like we've seen with the LA fires, is they've put these crazy people in charge. Okay? They vote in their Soros people to be the mayor and all this other thing. Okay? And we know that's all fake. We know it's all conjectured elections. I can't wait to see the real results from 2020 and 24, because I don't think the Democrats are even going to have hardly any seats left in any of the houses in the states when they figure out what really happened with the votes. Okay? And I think what happened in LA, and if you've gone to that video and watched it, because I'd love to share it, but for some reason I can't. Just a second here. When you're on that video, go to, it's only at like 19 seconds. It's close into the start of the video. And it shows all these police cars on this freeway. And they are literally taking up the whole freeway. I think that's the police officers themselves protesting. I think that's the start, because that's what happened in 1978 in Memphis. The first thing the police officers did to protest, and I think the fire department did it too, they took all the police cars, the ones that were in the parking lot, the ones that were out on patrol were on patrol. And, yada, yada. The ones that were still in the parking lot at the police station, they turned on, and here's the cool thing about it. I remember seeing this on the news. It's one of those memories that's never left me. But the police department was kind of up on a hill, so you could sort of see it from everywhere. They turned on all the lights and sirens, and then they locked the keys in the car and locked the cars. So the cop cars just sat there in the parking lot screaming the sirens and blaring their lights until the batteries ran dead, or somebody smashed a window and shut it off, or whatever. I don't know. But anyways, that's what they did. That was one thing they did. And we've seen this before, and I don't remember specific instances, but police have done this, where in order to protest, because they know their bosses are, have their head up their ass, they'll do stuff like this. Okay? And here's LGC here, Little Gray Cells. How you doing? And so I think that's what's going on in LA, and I think we're going to see it more in California. I think it's going to spread. I think the police themselves, the police officers who've got their hands tied, and the firefighters who, again, you've seen all the, if you've been watching, and again, I can't show this stuff. I got the tabs pulled up, but apparently StreamYard isn't going to let me show it until I figure out how I can get around their bullshit that they're playing on me. But they've had enough. They've absolutely had enough. The people have had enough. Everything else. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle went to the fires and were trying to support people, and everybody's like, "Fuck off! Get out of here! You just leave." Gavin Newsom, same thing. Just like what's been happening to Trudeau in Canada, people walked up to Gavin Newsom, and because he was hiding, he was going to places where nobody was around anymore, right? And doing a news conference and having just his media there. and people rushed in and they're like, fuck yeah, blah, blah, blah. You just let them have it. It's Bowmore. It's Bowmore. It's good. Yeah. So, like I said, I really think we're going to start seeing more of this. And Trump and his team are going to start doing stuff. The other side's going to protest against it. And that's when we're getting more false flags, more actual attacks, more shit going on, crazy things happening. And the only way to fight this, and we've been saying this for years, but you got to group up with people local to you that you can actually get to, that you can actually do things. And you got to start kicking back against the assholes, the woke pieces of shit. And your local media, your local politicians. And find out in your, okay, so in your city hall, in your county office, you got to find out who the people from Soros and the WEF are. Because I guarantee you, a bunch of the people that have a title and make a lot of money and they sit at a desk and they make decisions, and they're the ones that are pushing all this woke bullshit, and they're pushing all the land grab and the water rights bullshit and all that. When it comes right down to it, when you find them, they're going to be in their mid to late 20s to their early 40s. They're all going to be connected to Soros and the WEF and probably the WHO and like the World Health Organization, not the band that can actually play. And you need to find out who those people are and get them fired. And also, we need to make sure that your counselors, those people I'm talking about, your former politicians, the bureaucrats, when they get fired, they don't get their pension. Like, really stick it to them. Because remember, during COVID, most of the people that were pulling the bullshit didn't suffer. They all had a government job. They all got paid. They got to go home. And most of them are still, a lot of them are still working from home. And I know that's one thing that Michael Monahan's here. How you doing? One of those things that Trump said he's going to change, and Mathis. Paul, is it Matt? Sorry, Matheson. Sorry. Poilievre in Canada needs to do the same thing. Now he's got to get the mandate. He's got to get the majority. Again, I think Trudeau has tricks up his sleeve, and we've really got to watch these elections when they do happen. Really got to watch them. Oh, Rural Prepper, how you doing? And I really think that we're going to start seeing more pushback against all of this. And because of that, the other side's going to do what they do and cause some shit. I really believe that's going to happen. And we've got to hold them to the fire. The new Trump administration, and again, I'm still on the fence with Elon and a couple others, but we're going to see some changes. We're going to see because remember, when they in the States, there's a lot of unelected bureaucrats you can't get rid of. But when they bring in an administration, they bring in their own teams, the people in their offices and everything else. What happened to Trump the first time he was elected is either they didn't know or they didn't know how to get rid of most of them. And that was one of the reasons that things went the way they did. So they've figured that out now, and they're working against that. When Poilievre comes in, he said he's not going to allow anybody from the WEF or connected to Soros to be part of his to run for office, basically, or be in the he's gonna go through the government offices and start cleaning house too. That's what he says. Now, that means people like Michelle Rempel and a few others won't be able to run for office. So if you don't know, in Canada, if you're not from Canada or you don't follow it, and a lot of you out there who might think again that Michelle Rempel is another one that's fighting for you because she says she is, and she did all the YouTube videos and yada yada yada. And Danielle Smith, the Premier of Alberta, who again is just I don't trust her. I never will. She needs to just leave. She's everybody's hero right now, so they think, and then she'll go to a fucking conference somewhere and show who she really is. A lot of these people aren't going to be around anymore. They're going to get replaced. And yeah, there's about 15 people that are in the Conservative caucus in Canada right now who, if Poilievre sticks to what he said and gets rid of anybody that's connected to Soros or connected to the World Economic Forum, that they're going to be gone. They won't be running in the next election. But that's what we have to do. We have to get rid of them. We have to get them out of here and fix this shit. And Susie wants to know who I support in Canada. I'm going to have to support Poilievre as far as politically goes. We don't have any choice. There's nobody else. I'm telling you again, I said it in the last video. Do not support the People's Party of Canada. And here's why. It's the leader, Maxime Bernier. Yeah. Okay. Most of the people that are running for the party, most of the people that did run for the party, most of the people that support the party, all great. Their platform, their ideas, all that, great. They're not actually a political party. They don't have a constitution. Maxime Bernier is the conductor. He's the shill, the king, and he is a shill. He absolutely is a shill. And so when you support the PPC at this point in time, you're screwing us again, just like in the last 3 elections. And so we really don't have any choice but to support the Conservatives and get them in there with a massive majority. Now, the other problem we have here in Canada is we don't have a voted Senate. And Trudeau has appointed just a shit ton of people. He's going to appoint 3 more here before he leaves office. We need Senate reform in Canada. We need an elected Senate. Because if we had an elected Senate coming up in the next election, there'd hardly be any liberals in there either, if any at all.
Yeah, at least in the States.
At least in the States, you get to vote for your senators. We don't. So that needs to happen. And again, what needs to happen is they need to clean house as far as bureaucrats go and government offices. Even taking out take out the CRA. Okay, remember, the Canada Revenue Agency, just like our government and every political party, is a corporation.
Yeah, just like the IRS.
Okay, the IRS in the States, it's a corporation. Okay. Alberta Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, the ATF, corporation. Royal Canadian Mounted Police, corporation. So if they automatically brought in a new government system and changed everything and said the old one's out, the corporation's gone, that's how you do it. All those people are out of work. And, oh, my pension, I have a government pension. No, you have a corporation pension, and you need to go to your Lord and Savior, Justin Trudeau, and get your pension. Because remember, in Canada, you got to go looking for this, but you'll find it if you go looking. Every political party in Canada, every government in Canada at every level is owned by the Liberal Party of Canada. When you follow the corporations, when you follow everything all the way down, that's how it works. So even Polyev, and that's why we're finding out more and more about Stephen Harper and his government and everything that went on, because they had to listen to the liberals. So we need to fix that. That needs to be changed. The only way to do it is get rid of the corporation. Connections to the fires in the mega cities. Well, we're going to see more stuff, Joseph, in the mega cities. We're going to see way more things happening in the mega cities. And again, when things change here in Canada, we're going to start seeing the same thing here. Cage, how is it possible the Liberals own the Conservatives? Because the Conservative Party of Canada is a corporation. That corporation is owned by the government of Canada. The New Democratic Party is owned by the government of Canada. Okay? And Elections Canada is owned by the government of Canada. In order to run as a person, an individual, or for a party or anything, you have to sign up and follow all their rules and do all their things. When you go to Dun and Bradstreet, and you go to the City of London, and the Dun and Bradstreet is the United States one, and there's another one in the UK that it's the listing of all the companies and corporations. So we go to Dun and Bradstreet, and you look up the government of Canada. It's owned by the Liberal Party of Canada. Who owns the Liberal Party of Canada? It's the Sinclairs and the Bronfmans. Well, who's the Sinclairs? Margaret Sinclair married Pierre Elliott Trudeau, pumped out a brat that we have to put up with now. So Justin doesn't care. And the only way to fix this is to get rid of the whole frickin' thing. Okay, so how can the Liberal Party own the government of Canada? Because the corporation of the Liberal Party of Canada has majority ownership, majority shares in the government of Canada. Again, go to Dun and Bradstreet, and it's the stock exchange. It's the listing of the corporations on the stock exchange and everything else. By the way, all of us here, all of us, you and me, if you have a social insurance number, you're on Dun and Bradstreet. That's how they trade you. So that's what's going on. So in order to fix this whole thing and actually get it so we can actually get rid of this bullshit, that's how we have to do it. The only other way is we actually do get together. Hey, Ross Bell. The Johnny Highwoods. The only other way, and again, if I say this on YouTube, they're going to come after me and shut down the stream and send the RCMP my way to knock on my door and talk to me. But, you know, basically the people have to rise up. Now, rise up legally through elections, use the system we have now, get enough of our people in place, and then demand change. But too many people are just going to go back to their happy life, their quiet, happy life. Oh, I'm good now. Everything's fine. Yeah. Justin's gone. Justin's gone. No, he's not. Everybody's screaming, and people are woo-hoo, you know. A lot of liberals are, wah. He didn't go anywhere. He made it worse by proroguing Parliament and cutting off the ability for anybody else to do anything. Hey, remote's here, and that's the truth. And you know, again, I mean, again, I haven't, and I apologize to those of you that are here and have channels and do shows, and I know Slow Country was in the other day, and again, with my new work schedule, it's intense, and I really haven't had a chance to spend time and watch stuff and everything else. But I think the word is out there. I think it's getting out there. People are exposing the truth. People are digging and finding stuff. And again, to talk about ownership and people that own this and people that own that, and where the influence actually is, and what's actually going on in the background, and why we get all these false flags, and then the information around the false flags so quickly, stuff like that, and then you know why we get these fires and floods and all these things, and then again, like the fires aren't being fought because there's no water, and we're supposed to be led to believe that the LA Fire Department is all a bunch of woke sissies now. No, there's still a bunch of real firefighters there. Their hands are tied. They can't do shit. We know that during Jasper and during the other fires in Canada a couple years ago that I covered, the ones right where we were by Drayton Valley, and we heard this from locals. It wasn't just, it's true. The RCMP was stopping people from fighting fires. They were arresting people for trying to fight their own house fire. I mean, this kind of crazy shit's got to stop. We need to replace the RCMP. And this whole thing that, oh, there's so many of them that are good. You know what? I don't care anymore. They need to just lose their pension, lose their job, and have to fight and struggle like the rest of us, and get somebody in a cop car that's actually going to do a job and not fuck the rest of us over. Because they're a paramilitary organization that is a corporation that's under complete control, and they aren't there for you and me. Cage, I found out Michigan paid to bury your.
Paid by Canada to bury your trash.
Oh, yeah.
What say you?
Bury the trash. Okay. What's it going to take for people to demand change and the removal of all the corruption, the corrupt people? Well, again, right now at this point, we have to elect the people that we actually want in there. We can't. You got to make sure whoever's running in your riding or in your district when there's an election coming up at every level, you got to dig into them and make sure they're not a Soros shill or a WEF shill. That's one. So you get people elected that are not going to follow that crap. You get people fired that are following that crap. Hi, Bonnie. And and then when they have a vote on anything or any kind of issue coming up, you have to actually go into your riding office. You go into their office and say, this is what we want. This is what we want them to vote for. This is how we want them to vote. This is what we want going on. This is the bill we want them to put forward.
Otherwise, no taxes.
Yeah, otherwise, yeah, we're not paying your salary. We're not doing anything. We're not going to pay our taxes. We're not going to support, not going to listen, yada, yada.
I'll talk to my boss into paying me.
When they bring in the next pandemic, because it's coming, what you need to do is when the cops go into the mom and pop shops and say, here's what you're going to do, 20 people need to walk in there, put them on the floor, handcuff them with their own handcuffs.
Yeah.
Send the message. No, your bullshit doesn't fly anymore. When they occupy a church and they bring in hundreds of RCMP tactical officers, like they did here in Alberta. Again, Jason Kenney needs to go to jail. But again, he's a shill. He's a globalist. And the dumb bitch we have now is not doing what she said she was going to do. Okay. and fixing some of that shit. There's a lot of those court cases are still going on.
There you go.
No, it's all we got to fix this bullshit. That's all there is to it. And again, I mean, we're going to see false flags. We're going to see stupidity. We're going to see, people doing crazy stuff, and we're going to see the globalists doing everything they can to get their world war.
Yoda.
Oh, it's the Yoda.
Oops.
Two dots complaining.
2 dots wondering.
He doesn't want to be here. He does not want to be near the food guy or be. Well, you're flailing him around like a, yeah. No, he's going to the food. I'm going to the food. I don't care. I just came in. It's cold outside. So yeah. So I just wanted to direct your attention to that. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on Facebook.
Yeah.
And what we're actually going to be able to say. Because again, I've been really quiet. I have a couple of Facebook's accounts, but I just,
I don't like Facebook.
I've been kicked off Facebook more than I've been kicked off YouTube. That's all going to change. I'm back on X, Twitter, but I don't do anything. But again, I mean, the research is out there. So I told you to go watch that movie, H2O, The Last Prime Minister. And in the movie, the premise is the Americans want our fresh water. Well, by that point in time, they were basically just telling us what was already happening. And all the fresh water in Canada was going to the States anyways. Nestle owns the water.
Yeah.
Okay. There's
They send it to China.
There's other private corporations that own water in almost every state and province, is how they've made it. Well, what's going on in BC, and it's been going on for a couple of years. They have water cops now, and they have all these idiots, these college students with a police uniform, going around and telling farmers that they have to shut their water off. They can't irrigate their fields. This kind of stupid shit's been going on. Okay. And again, that's because, and I don't know, I think it is the Bronfmans, and I actually think it's another family in British Columbia that's very high up in the world, if you know what I mean, that own the water in BC, kind of thing. It's same thing's happening here in Alberta. Okay, it's happening everywhere, and that's just one thing. You look at all industries, when you really boils down to it, there's only anywhere from 2 to 6 people or companies that run everything. Oh, Remote's got a link there. Oh, for the last prime minister. Okay, cool. Thanks. And again, it's interesting to watch that show. I remember watching it when it first came out. And that's when I was waking up and figuring shit out. Because it came out in the early 2000s, 2003 or 2004 or something like that. Yeah, global water and food control, exactly. Same with the food industry. A lot of the stuff. Okay, so what do we got here? 44 minutes. Okay, so go back at least 5 to 7 years. So this food production facility burnt down. There's a big fire. It was unexplained. You can't figure it out what happened. But a company that made cereal, or they made additives for food, or they made candy, or some of them were, again, the big famous one was they were burning down barns of chickens and barns of turkeys and even cattle, and there was all this kind of shit going on. and everybody was trying to figure it out. Well, in the chats that I'm talking about, what we figured out is those were all places that were poisoning us, and they were being destroyed. So people think, oh, they're going after our food. Well, yeah, but they were going, shouldn't say we, not gonna know. I wasn't involved in that shit. But somebody on our side was destroying the poisons. That's the other thing that would be really great to see, is if we just had 1,000 people at every airport and just started ripping planes apart. And when the truck comes in to fill the tanks on the planes for the chemtrails, burn the truck. Or better yet, follow the truck when it goes to refuel, when it goes to refill. Find out where their production facilities are, where they actually make this shit. Burn those down.
Yeah.
Okay, so remote says Lindo and Stewart Resnick control Cali water. Okay, there you go. Right? There you go. That right on. Remote has done his research. He's found that, and he's got a name, and there it is. And that's the truth. And you're gonna find that in every state in the United States. You're gonna find it in every province. You're gonna find it in just about every, I would say every country. That's how widespread this is. I would think that El Salvador is one place where they're fixing their shit. Argentina, Brazil. It's back and forth in Brazil, but Argentina and Mali and what he's doing. AWOL, you still on YouTube, Cage? Once in a while, yeah. I was explaining. Well, you know this, but instead of having an afternoon nap, I have an afternoon awake because of my schedule now. Which again, I'm going to be going back to bed here soon to get some sleepies before I go back to work, and tell the cattle as I walk around through the herds every half hour,
Hold it.
monitoring.
Pinch it.
Yeah, squeeze.
Squeeze
No
hard.
babies. No babies. Babies are for day shift.
Yeah.
The other night there was 7 born on my shift, and I had to milk 3 cows because the calves couldn't get up because they were kind of preemies and they weren't strong, so they couldn't stand up to get their first milk. So I had to milk the mothers. In 2 cases, the mothers weren't letting them milk because again, when the preemies, the bag hasn't dropped and it hurts when they try to suck. It hurts, so the mothers kick them off, right? So I had to tie the legs on the cows and milk the cows, and then bottle feed these calves. It was a busy night, and then last night there was 3 born, and we had to pull one. And last one, half an hour before I get off shift, and we had to pull it. And well, you're staring at the back end of the cow. The cow's under stress, and fluids and things come out. And when you're pulling something massive out of an animal, and you're squeezing up against all those tubes inside, well, think about taking your toothpaste and going like that.
That's not very neat.
So yeah, I washed myself off with a hose in the hose rack, and then came home and had a shower and put everything in the wash. Yeah, happiness. Yeah. So there's your tidbit. There's your happiness being a cattle farmer, rancher, worker, guy. Anyways, so yeah, so I'm gonna. I got shit on. I did. Yeah, that happens. Just the way it is. Not the first time. I mean, I grew up on a cattle farm. Had to pull calves. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna be finishing my Bowmore, having a bite to eat, and going back to sleep. hopefully to get 2.5 or 3 hours in, and then a big steak and back to work. But that's what we're at. That's where we're at, folks. Is they're going to be pulling a bunch of this shit. We need to organize at your local levels, and that's how we get them back. Is we take their power away. We get them out of office. We have to use their system against them right now. And once we can get their system under our control, we change the system. That's the only way this is going to work. So that's it for the stream, folks. It was great to see all the folks that showed up again that I haven't seen for a while. And awesome for you to have your chats together. And hang on a second. Wait a minute. I just noticed something. And I think it's because you've changed your account, but AWOL isn't blue.
Nope.
Okay, just a second. I'm going back. And
Just
sorry I wasn't reading chat, folks. Okay, hang on. I gotta find it. There it is. I mean, you say Minecraft when you talk about burning stuff. Okay. There we go. You're blue. And again, I'm gonna have to do that. I know I'm gonna have to do this a lot when I come back in because I've seen it before. Every time I come in here, there's people that aren't blue anymore, and that's YouTube. They've actually put out stuff on the community page and on their studio, and they've actually put out videos on YouTube saying, "Oh, there's all these rumors that we take subs away from people and we're doing this. Oh no, that's not possible." Blah blah blah. Oh, yeah, it is. This is a new channel. I got hacked. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, and that's been happened to people too. So, but anyways, folks, yeah. There's a lot of folks out there that are on YouTube all the time that are doing research and finding stuff and you know, doing a lot better job than I've been doing, and I'll come in and chat when I can and get some stuff out to you. And if I do find something new that's actually worth talking about, but again, I mean, remote's got to show Phil Brown. Yeah, you gotta, folks, get over there to Phil Brown. Phil, put your link in the chat. Hey, Creek Squad. And these guys that actually do their digging, they look around and slow country and everything else. But we're getting closer and closer to Inauguration Day in the States. We're apparently getting closer to an election in Canada. They're saying now that Trudeau has to be out by March 9th and a new leader picked and all that, yada, yada, yada. I still will not be surprised if something happens and that doesn't happen. The other thing is, remember, Trudeau still runs whoever gets put in place. He's still in charge. He still runs the whole show from behind. Okay? He was running the show, him and Stéphane Dion, when Harper was in power, before Trudeau even ran for office the first time. Okay? And other people around him. So there we go, folks. It was great chatting with you again. Great to be here. And oh, hey, Ann Creighton, hello. Professor Falcon has arrived. Late, as usual. Cage is going to be a U.S. citizen. Well, if it happens,
I don't mind.
if that whole thing happens and there's some kind of agreement, because remember, up until 2006, you didn't need a passport. I could go down to the States whenever I wanted to. Didn't need a passport. Cross the border. You could come up here.
Now we can mail our stuff, no problem.
Well, and all of that,
And
mail and
go
all,
visit.
yeah, it was just a different world, and then they changed it.
And
Okay.
now we can go visit.
So because again, I mean, I've been invited down to go see people. There's a lot of you I would like to go meet. There's a lot of things I'd like to go get.
Yep.
A lot of things I'd like to go see. I can tell you right now, they won't let me across the border. And I haven't done anything illegal. Oh, that was one of the things I was going to show. That was one of the things I was going to show today, is that another veteran tried to cross the border and got turned away and threatened with arrest if you tried again.
How recent was that?
Today.
Really? Oh.
So we have to get rid of their bullshit. So do I want to see Canada be the 51st state? No. Do I want us to be Scotland, the way Scotland and England are? Not really. Do I want there to be changes for the better? Yeah. So anyways, that's it, folks. I'm going to shut the stream and have a bite to eat and get back to sleep so that I can stay awake all night and tell cows no babies. No babies. That's a day shift thing. All right. Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.